Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to No BS Hiring Advice Radio, which I'm simulcasting as a hangout. I'm skipping Periscope today because, frankly, it feels like too much to do. I know it's not a big deal, but I've just been busy since I got back from a few days away. So excuse me for not doing this for the Periscope peep, but I just have to manage my time and my stress levels. So excuse me for doing that. This is a time where I spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about some aspect of hiring people because my experience tells me that you've got systems in place to make it far more difficult than it needs to be to hire the kind of people that you want to hire. So, like I said, 15 minutes of no BS hiring advice to help you as an HR professional, hiring manager, or small business owner be even more effective with your hiring. Now, today's show is brought to you by two sponsors. Audible is the first. And if you go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter and sign up for a free trial of Audible, you'll be able to get a free audiobook as part of that trial. I know you like audio. You listen to this show. Maybe you listen to Job Search Radio, my flagship show, which is hosted on Web Talk Radio. It's also in iTunes, of course, and Stitcher, and a variety of other podcast directories. Maybe you listen to No BS Job Search Advice. But whatever you do, I know you enjoy audio. So I just want to make sure that you can expand your audio experience through Audible. My other sponsor is consultingassignments.com, which is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world, completely free. Where posting a job or a resume is free, searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you're going to feature a job or a resume, it is $10 for 30 days. Ooh. So, again, consultingassignments.com. So today's show is really about hiring creatives and creative people, creative personality, people who populate jobs that we consider creative, have a completely different dynamic than those that are revenue-generating jobs or operations jobs because their thought process is different. Their way of approaching life, the universe, and everything is different. And unfortunately, many of you conduct yourselves in a way where your hiring process is the same meat grinder for them as it is for these operations people, these sales people. And they don't respond well to that. And if you say too bad, well, that's your prerogative, but at the end of the day, you're not getting the most creative people that you can get, and that can impact your bottom line. So I thought a show about hiring creatives was a good idea, and excuse me for missing last Wednesday's show, but I was on a flight to New York where I was meeting some people to help with a workshop, so I was away for a few days, was supposed to be back Sunday night, but unfortunately flights out of New York were canceled on Sunday night and didn't get back until Monday. No matter, I'm back today, no BS hiring advice, today about creatives. So here's the first thing. Number one is to acknowledge when you're hiring a creative person, you have a need, and you believe that a creative person is the kind of individual that you need to fill this role. And it's not purely about their skill set, it's about their way of thinking. So let me ask you, does it really make sense to put a creative person through your traditional process? I don't think so. I think what you get are the survivors while the others roll their eyes and go off and work elsewhere. So my thought right off the bat is you have to adapt your process to deal with the realities of what a creative person likes in the way of a process so that you can attract the best people and ultimately make your best choice. Now, your choice may ultimately be an extremely creative person who got through the process, who you're able to persuade to work in your organization, even though you have the sense that they're culturally not quite a fit for your environment. Or you may get a person who's really out there, or you may go the conventional route. No matter, I want you to have the greatest number of choices, and that really requires treating the process a little bit differently. Now, the basic philosophy is if you expect creative people to live in a box and to operate within a box and go through an interview process that puts them in a box, they rebel. So you need to think creatively about your process so that these people feel challenged and interested. Now, if you're recruiting for this, or let me even backtrack, if you're advertising for it, you have to do a different kind of job ad. So they'd like to see job listings that have some personality to them. And as such, if you write the typical ad that has a list of skills and responsibilities, yawn, it's just not interesting. Talk about the real work and do it in a way that's human rather than bureaucratese. Show some personality. And I'm not simply talking about, are you the kind of person who likes a great challenge? Well, we've got a challenging opportunity for you. Again, that's like a million ads. Think personality. If you don't know what that is, go online. I'm sure you'll find some ads with some personality that'll make you go, that's it. And that's what you need to start off with if you're advertising. And if you're recruiting, I want you to think in terms of how you pitch your job. Now, I'm going to talk with you like a salesperson by using terms like pitch your job, but I want you to really research the person before reaching out to them. So you may find them on LinkedIn. See if you can find a profile of theirs using Google. A portfolio of theirs using Google. See if their LinkedIn profile links to their portfolio, so you can look at it and engage them in a conversation about their portfolio, the nature of the work, and what prompted them to make those choices from a design standpoint. Things along those lines that make them go, hey, this person's a little bit different, and thus this firm is a little bit different. Catch that equation. If they think you're a little bit different in a good way, they associate that with your firm. So you always want to make sure that they're thinking positively about you, because then they have the transference or the association with your firm as being respectful to their kind of person and not just simply another meat grinder. So great job listing. If you're doing recruiting, you're approaching this having done a little bit of research so that you have a sense of their background. You also want to get a sense of what their character's like, why they've made some of the professional choices that they've made. And, that could just be as simple as, we really would like to bring on someone and have them be a part of our organization. Or we need a consultant who can act as though they're a part of our firm and not just simply coming in to do some work and getting out. So even though you're a consultant, it matters to us that we matter to you. Could you tell me about some of the decisions about joining firms that you've made in the past and what prompted you to join some of these firms? And what that's going to do is give you a sense of their thought process, because it's not a conventional question. So they're going to think of you as being someone who's interested in them as a human being beyond simply what you can do for them, and that they're not simply a slab of meat. Now, and speaking of not being a slab of meat, you always want to connect with them as a person. So as you're talking to them and having a good time, and where do you live? What's it like being you? Tell me about the work that you do. Tell me about some work that you're proud of. Whatever it is that you're asking them about, and some of the design decisions that they've made, you might just simply throw in there, hey, what kind of stuff are you reading these days? It's a quirky question, but you get a sense of a human being beyond simply the task, because don't you want them to fit into your organization, right? And although I'm not a big fan of fit or cultural fit in hiring, because frankly, most of you aren't equipped like I am to assess for that. You're not institute trained. You don't have a background in psychoanalysis like I do. You're not a social worker. You're not doing personality testing. You haven't done it with your own team unless you can't blend it. You're just going by gut. And frankly, statistically, most of your guts aren't as good as you think they are. So let's get the notion of fit out of the way. But if you're going to try, get a sense of what they're reading. Talk with them about that so that they get a sense of you as being interested in them as a human being, not just simply a slob for a job. When you meet with them, you want to find out about their curiosity level and their imagination and their ability to play well with others, not just simply perform a job. So you can talk with them about some of the successes, problems that they've had in previous organizations. Throw in some quirky questions out of the blue that will give them an idea that you're concerned about them more than just simply as a task rabbit, but as someone who will fit in and be a human being. And finally, and this is a hard one for many of you because you're not really equipped to do it all that well, assess for ego. And as much as you can really do, don't go overboard with this because, again, you're not really equipped to assess for this. So I want you to think in terms of some basic questions and listening carefully to whether they're whining or complaining. The whiners or complainers can be problematic, and that doesn't mean that they can't tell you the truth about a previous firm, because you want them to do that, right? You want to have them offer up the truth about previous firms and not get punished by you for doing so. So, for example, I was talking with someone recently, and he was talking about his current firm and the amount of turnover that they've had. And the person who hired him was gone 2 regimes ago, and it's only been 8 months. So, you want him to be able to say that to you and say, look, I would just want to do a great job. I was hired to do one thing. That's changed over the course of the 8 months I've been with this firm on 2 separate occasions since I was hired. And God knows how many more times it's going to be a changeover. I'm looking for some stability with my next organization. Don't you want to hear the truth, or do you really want them to start lying to you? I think you want the truth, right? So even so, you want to get someone who will talk in a matter-of-fact way to you rather than freak out in front of you, because Lord knows I've had that happen. So working with a creative, hiring a creative, doing the evaluation of creative people is an important part of your hiring. And you also want to get a feel for how creative they actually are. So give them a homework assignment. Pay them for it. Say, I want to pay you for an hour of your time. Now, they'll probably put in more than that, but pay them for an hour of time. Put in a budget item with the spec. Say, I'm going to want at least 5 or 10 people to do this. Maybe I pay them $50 each. Don't you want to see their work and have a representative assignment that reflects the work that you're going to want them to do, and not just simply their canned portfolio? So that's my advice for hiring creatives. I hope you find it helpful. I also want to encourage you, come over to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and go exploring. Now, right now, I have 2 areas where you'll find information for you. One is a page called No BS Hiring Advice, and I'm moving that over to the blog. Now, the blog has advice for job hunters, for headhunters, and for you as an HR professional, hiring manager, or small business owner. So when you get to the blog, look in the area where there's categories listed, and look for No BS Hiring Advice there. You'll find information that will help you make even better staffing decisions. Also want to tell you, I want to help you with recruiting for your open positions. Email me at Jeff Altman at thebiggamehunter.us, or call me at 646-374-8656. Let's figure out a time to speak, because I want to help you with staffing. Finally, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request at linkedin.com/in/the-big-game-hunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you look like a spammer or scammer, or if you're a third-party recruiter. I'm Jeff Altman. Have a great day. Take care.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store, or shop us online. Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store, or shop us online.